Okay, so starting back up with our part 2 notes of 5.1, we're looking at number 7. Don't mind if you hear in the background my dog is snoring away. Apparently he is not as excited about rational exponents and roots as I am. So anyway, continuing on, we're going to apply the same idea as before. And what would think about, we have the fourth root of x. So if we had x to the fourth equals 16, then we would take the fourth root because that would cancel each other out. So if we have the fourth root, to cancel that fourth root out, we're going to have to get that exponent of 4. So we're going to raise both sides to the fourth. So the fourth root and the 4 are going to cancel out here, and we're going to get x equals 3 raised to the fourth. That's 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. So that's 81. Final answer. Okay, for number 8, it's not a root, it's a rational exponent. So we're going to talk about how do we solve these ones. So we solve the root by doing the exponent. So now we have this exponent of 1/3. So if I were to rewrite this, I'm going to do a little bit of work over here. I could rewrite this as x to the power over root. So the third root of x raised to the first, but I technically don't need to put that 1 there, right? Equals 5. And then it looks exactly like what we did for number 7. And the way that I would get rid of that third root is by raising both sides to the third. And then the third root and the third would cancel, and then we would do 5 to the third. So I'm going to show you how to do this though without rewriting it as a root. And the way that we do that is we get rid of raised to the 1/3 by raising both sides to the reciprocal. So if we raise this left-hand side to the 3/1, which is 3, and we raise this right-hand side, because what you do to one side, you got to do the other. And then we apply the properties of exponents. When you have an exponent raised to an exponent, we multiply them. What's 1/3 times 3/1? Well, these all cancel, and that would be x to the first. But we don't really need that exponent of 1, right? Because that's implied. Equals, and now I have 5 to the third. So that's 5 times 5 times 5. That's 125. Final answer. All right, so I'm going to leave 9 and 10 for you to try, and I'm going to do the next one. So using that same idea, to undo that exponent of x raised to the 3/2, we're going to raise both sides to the 2/3, the reciprocal. So when you have an exponent raised to an exponent, that's going to be x raised to the, I multiply those two exponents. What's 3/2 times 2/3? 1 equals 27 to the 2/3. So that's power over root. So we're going to do the third root of 27 raised to the power of 2. Okay. So I don't really need this 1, so up top of the x. So x equals the cube root of 27. That means what number times itself? 3 times is 27. That's 3. And then we're going to square that. So x equals 9. Final answer. Okay. So keeping with that, we're going to do the same idea. I'm going to raise both sides, x to the 3/4. Raise both sides to the reciprocal, 4/3. So x to the exponent raised to an exponent, you multiply 3/4 times 4/3. Those are going to cancel. X to the 1 equals 27 to the 4/3, so power over root. So it's going to be the third root of 27 raised to the power of 4. Okay, so x equals, because remember I don't need that 1 as the exponent, the cube root of 27. What number times itself 3 times is 27? That's 3 raised to the 4th. X equals 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, 81. Final answer. All right, so going through this same idea, we're going to raise both sides to the reciprocal. So -1/2, -2/1, so -2. 1/7 raised to the -2. So we've got, need a little mark over there, x to the -1/2. When you have an exponent raised to an exponent, we multiply them. -1/2 times -2/1. 2's are going to cancel, and the negatives are going to cancel because negative times a negative is a positive, so it's +1 equals, now this is a little tricky, 1/7 to the -2. So our rule with exponents is I would just distribute this to both pieces on the inside. So I would get x to the 1, but I don't really need to. X equals 1 to the -2 over 7 to the -2. All right, and when you have negative exponents, we relocate them. If it's a negative in the numerator, I would relocate it down into the denominator. If it's a negative in the denominator, I'm going to relocate it up into the numerator and make it a positive exponent. So I would do 1 to the +2 now on the denominator and 7 to the +2 on the numerator. So 7 squared is 49 over 1 squared is 1. So x equals 49/1. 49. Final answer. Okay, so that one was a little tricky. All right, so I'm going to pause it right here and I'm going to let you try those ones up until number 16. And then we're going to try the ones that are the challenge ones that have the little stars next to them. Okay?